What is happening, everybody? Bobby Fi and Eric Sheets-Haber. We're going to be talking through this NBA slate. I'll drop in some baseball thoughts, but we still don't have a Toronto lineup, so I'm not going
Who does
to.
Toronto play tonight?
Who's what?
Who does Toronto play tonight?
You know what I'm talking about, right? The World Series.
Obviously.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I thought for a second maybe you were talking about basketball because usually that would be
No,
the
no,
case.
no.
But in basketball, we just don't have anybody's lineup. Yeah, I did. I will throw out just a really couple. I think this is the game. I've been very pessimistic. I actually have my buddy. I got in on it. I don't even want to admit it, but there was 15-1 at Toronto to win the series 4-2 before the thing. So that was my go against myself thing. But I think the Dodgers are going to score 10 runs tonight, and I think there will be multiple home runs. I think this is the night where they go crazy. The bats have been quiet. Not because they shuffled the lineup, not because of anything like that. I just think that's what's going to happen. And Savage, if he doesn't find the strike zone, this team ain't gonna chase like some other teams. So I'm ready for the explosion, and I'm going to be very heavy Dodgers, less on the pitching. I also don't like this matchup for Snell in general. He'll probably pitch great, but this team is a little tough for him. So I'm actually in the offensive side and less on the pitching side tonight in baseball. And we will talk through this NBA slate. And Sheets, we get to play my old guy who this is a great example of how there's huge edge in DFS still. Russell Westbrook, when he's announced starting last night, which happened after lock, happened about 20 minutes before the other game, announced starting in OKC. And he was 3% owned on FanDuel. He was 11% owned in the 555, and he was like 6 or 7% owned, I believe, in the lottery. Tonight, that is not going to be the case because people are aware of what to do. But last night, that was my frustration. I couldn't get my lineups to swap in time because my computer froze. I did get into my hand builds. What's that?
Christ.
I did get into my hand builds, but I had 75%. I ended up on FanDuel with like 60% of them. And on DraftKings, I had 75%, but I couldn't get it to load. So that was frustrating. But I did manually get him into my highest buy-in, which almost got me the money and all this stuff. So didn't quite get there, but it's a process. Tonight, he's going to be, I think, the most popular player on the slate if he starts again, and I assume he would. And it is a back-to-back. He is older, but he's an inhuman, and at this price, I really don't have an argument for not playing him. I just wanted to start off with that because I'm going to have like 90% of them, and I think that's what a lot of people who are using Saber Sim.
He's going to be. Yeah, I didn't run my projections yet. I want to wait. You know what I mean? Like, because it is a little bit of work. And I just hate to just like as soon as I run them, like somebody gets ruled out or something like that. So I'm gonna try to wait. We'll just see, I guess.
It's just so hard in the NBA. I mean, because there's so many things that like one little change. I mean, Pelle Larsson last night, that was the other one who I was getting to 80% of, and I couldn't load it onto DraftKings, and of course I ended up with 0 of them, and he put up, he 10x'd his price.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, and he ended up starting, and we knew that Miami was down bodies. I did do the really smart thing though, and I went way under on Bam Adebayo, and I would not take what Saberson was giving me, so that really worked out well because he had like 34 or whatever, and they were projecting him for like 50. So it's like, okay, enough of this.
Do you want to go over like what the difference is between the slates too? I mean,
sure. There's more games on the FanDuel slate. There's a lot. There's so many good plays on this slate. I don't think that there's I don't want to go through it's just so hard to go through every play back and forth and like all the things. All I would say is on FanDuel, I guess I have interest in the Memphis-Phoenix game. I have interest in the Lakers and Minnesota game, and those are not on the DraftKings slate. So I'll get a lot more of those guys on FanDuel. I don't really have any brilliant or amazing insight other than that. Or not that's amazing. Just that's my insight. I also would mention that I'm not saying Anthony Davis won't go nuts tonight. I think SaberSim is extremely aggressive on his projection. Usually I go the opposite way with the spend ups. But Anthony Davis, I think, has scored over 52 fantasy points one time this season, and he keeps projecting for like 56. He's also, I mean, if you look at him, he looks like a different guy. They're in a very weird game. They're only 6.5 point favorites against literally like 5 G League players and a couple of real life players and in the Pacers. But the Mavericks are really, really terrible. Anthony Davis, he's been over 52 one time this year. And what has he been? He's been 48. I mean, he's right around there, but I don't want him at 56 as a median projection, even if it's a good matchup or whatever. It just doesn't. I don't agree with it. I'm not saying he won't get 56 or higher. I'm just saying that should not be his median, in my opinion, especially with him being banged up a little bit.
Well, let's talk about, I guess, like almost like game by game, if you want. Like, so, I mean, I'm looking at the DraftKings slate specifically.
Yeah.
I guess the 4 games that are most viable, I mean, in general, are the middle games, right? The Atlanta, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Chicago, Indiana, Dallas, and Portland, Utah. A little less so. The others, like Cleveland, Boston. It's funny. It's Cleveland, Boston doesn't have a good total.
I think it's incredible. I think that's one of the best games in the slate.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it has a big total, 234.5.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you're mentioning that Donovan.
Wait a minute, hold on. What happened here? Now the projection, now it changed back. Now the Cavs are 4.5-point favorites. What is going on?
So Mitchell is in fact playing then, I guess.
Well, I mean, based on reading the tea leaves, he looked like he was out, and now it looks like he's. I don't know. We'll see. At least that's the first set of games. So at least we'll know that one for.
Well,
sure.
Why don't you go? Do you like anything in the Orlando game?
Yeah. So I've got a list of 17 guys that I like better than. Well, I like a lot. That'll be my main. I don't know how to say core or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they're my core. Yeah, I like Franz Wagner. I think his price is much more appealing on FanDuel. I don't think you necessarily need to do much. I might bump him up 0.5 point or something. But I don't think I need to do much to get over the field on him. I was over the field on my initial build. I like the idea of getting to one of Bane or Paolo. It's a good matchup, but it's whatever. There is a little. They're really, Wait, hold on. What happened to this play? Did this go? I'm sorry. I'm trying to catch up here for a second. No, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I think that Wagner and Bane, but Wagner is a better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, I think slightly, but there's still a good play on FanDuel. I'm sorry, on DraftKings. We have these, this projection on Jalen Duren changed a bunch, which he was a guy I was going to force to bump up, but SaberSim did the job itself. So I do like Jalen Duren, and I really like Cade. I think Cade is being underprojected for what it's worth. Those are my main ones from the first game. And the other first game is, look, if Mitchell's out, I like all of it. If Mitchell's in, I like Mitchell. And if Mitchell's in, I still kind of like Mobley. I kind of like Jared Allen. And I like Jaylen Brown a lot on the other side. So those are my main from the first set of games.
Who is I guess we're going to look at it, but do we think that Josh Minot is going to start?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume based on the projections that we're assuming that, but and that's look, it's fine. Again, as I always say on these, usually more value opens up. With a lot of guys questionable tonight. Look, I'll get to a few percentage points of it. I don't think I want to get like crazy with it, but I think it's fine. It's just I don't love. If it was a later game, I would say, hey, yeah, let's try to bump the projection up and then let SaberSim do its thing as we get closer. But not getting there right now, personally.
Yeah, I mean, you got a couple of questionables I'm looking at here. So you have Zion is questionable.
Yep.
Donovan Mitchell was questionable before. Davis technically has a questionable tag, but.
Asar Thompson.
Asar Thompson is questionable. That could be relevant, right?
Questionable. Sasser, Keon Ellis, that's a big one because that is partly the Westbrook thing too. It just makes Westbrook even more sure of a thing or safe of a bet play. Karis LeVert, Chris Murray, Jalen Johnson is probable now, so that's good.
Good. Okay.
Cam Johnson for Denver. I said earlier I thought the projection was way off. They had him at 30. Now it's at 22. That's the right projection. It just sometimes the early morning projections can throw me the other way. But now they've got it a little bit more reasonable. But there's a lot of questionables, and then there's always the weird, hey, who wants to change their starting lineup? It's still early in the year. Teams are still figuring out what they're doing, and you end up with a guy like Pell Larson starting last night, and you end up with a guy in Westbrook starting last night who. Starting the slate, nobody would have had any percentage of him. And even still, I thought the projections were so low on him from SaberSim. Now they've got him at a number that I feel good about.
So what do you think of the Indiana Pacers value plays?
I mean, I think we just have to do it. It's not like unfortunately, I don't think there's a whole lot of choice. They did have to even go out and get Matt McClung of dunk contest fame to play. He's not in the player pool, but they have 10 bodies, and it's a game that's only got a 6.5 point spread with a 228.5 total. It feels like you kind of have to have I don't think there'll be any teams I have that don't have at least one or two from Indiana. But obviously Pascal Siakam at the top, Ray J. Dennis everything feels thin until you realize how many guys are actually available.
Okay.
Really like Jarris Walker. Then you get the Jay Huff, Ben Shepherd, Aaron Nesmith, and I think all of them are fine, but I am probably not going to change the projection on any of them. I'm just going to let it roll. That's not a situation where I want to. I can't speculate on it. None of these guys are like, God, you know what I mean? So I don't know how to speculate on it other than I know they're high on Jarris Walker. We already know who Ben Shepherd, Aaron Nesmith, Siakam is. I guess if I had one take, there's one guy who won't be played from them, and that's Isaiah Jackson. I think Isaiah Jackson is an interesting contrarian play, but I don't know that I would get to it that much, even if I bumped him up.
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he got hurt last year before the postseason, and then they extended him, which is because they didn't sign what's his name. They didn't, but he's been pretty horrible so far. But we know he can get things going a little bit, and they're going to need size to match up with one of the biggest teams in the NBA.
So I'm sure they've already played here before since, but just kind of reminder that both, DeRozan, but also specifically Zach LaVine is going back to Chicago for Sacramento. Maybe that's
I noted him as a guy because you get a little potential LaVine revenge. Which I don't mind. I don't think it's like an unreasonable play anyway. It's not like I don't want to go out of my way and just like load up. It's not like that kind of a revenge thing. But I think it's something that's probably good to get a little bit over the field on. Which is like 2% will get you over the field.
Now, again, I'm just these are just kind of random things I'm throwing out there, see if anything clicks. So on FanDuel, you have the Laker game over there. You have Jared Vanderbilt going back to Minnesota. Does that mean anything or no? No, I guess not.
No, but I mean, like, one thing is he knows the guy. He's going to play anyway, and he's going to play minutes anyway. And he knows, like, I always think familiarity is a good thing. And on top of it, he's been productive in this new role, productive enough. Do we need to go out our way to play him? I don't think so, but I think he's okay. You know what I mean? To take a shot at it. Like, he's not, again, low usage guy, going to get there in other ways, but there's plenty of other ways for him to get there.
It's true. The Portland Utah game is an interesting game because, on the one hand, Utah has been involved in some crazy games, but as you pointed out, Portland plays some pretty good defense. But you have Drew Holiday. He's been pretty active for Portland since he's been there. Jeremy Grant's been off the bench, been okay. Utah, there's Keontae George has been good. Lowry obviously is just coming off a freaking amazing performance. I'm just thinking of which game environments have a shot to do whatever. But again, like I don't know what I feel about that Portland team. You know what I mean? Because on the one hand, like they're a lot of fun when they get going, but and Utah doesn't really play all too much defense. But Portland sort of does. So,
and also Utah is not like a fun team to stack. They're going to play like 12 guys. Like,
well, they used to, but I mean, but now they're playing like apparently the Lowry's going to be in for like 80 minutes a game now. I guess
he's the one guy I have in that game who I've got locked up, not locked up, but like as a huge production. But to be honest, he's barely playing this year. He only played minutes. I mean, he's barely playing a lot of games this year. Not barely playing. He's not. His minutes are higher because they had the one. Oh no, they didn't. Maybe okay. They are up. Sorry about that. There's gonna be some minutes for Clayton and Ace Bailey and Nurkic and Hendricks and Sensabaugh. They're gonna play guys, but yeah, I don't know. That game doesn't really appeal to me that much. I think speculating on Atlanta, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Boston.
Well, who are your favorites from the Atlanta-Brooklyn game?
So that's the thing that's interesting is there's no real ownership on the Atlanta side. So I like the idea of trying to get to a little bit of Trey, and I really like Jalen Johnson in this matchup, even though the projections are going to tell you otherwise. I kind of like the idea of getting to Jalen Johnson, assuming that he does play. He's probable. And on the other side, I like Cam Thomas and I like Michael Porter Jr. I think if you're playing GPPs, when their ownership starts to drop a little bit, go for it. Get after these plays, because I think that there's always a massive ceiling for both those guys, and they don't have anybody else. They're playing at home, so you hope the game stays close enough. Ben Saroff is playing a little bit, but he's a cheap play that we would look for maybe on other slates. I think there's just too many options today. Porter Jr. is going to have a lot of duds, and then he's going to have some monster games, and then you're going to get the same thing out of Cam Thomas, who scored 40 real life points the other night and somehow barely scored more fantasy points than that. I think he had 0 assists. He had 41 points and no assists, which is pretty amazing. Nick Claxton, Terrence Mann. I think that game's kind of interesting. I think the Bulls side of the Sacramento thing is interesting to run back with Westbrook. I like Buzelis. I like Giddey and Vucevic. I don't necessarily want to play them together, but I like both of them. Indy, it's hard because you're going to get so much Indy. I think it makes sense to naturally have the run backs on the other side, and you have plenty of options. So I guess that's the most interesting game to target, but I don't think it's also going to be the highest owned. So you've got D'Angelo Russell, PJ Washington, Max Christie, Anthony Davis, all looking like very good point per dollar plays against a team that has 10 bodies, but sort of really 9. That's interesting to me.
If Zion is out, I wonder when that news comes in.
It'll be late, I think.
What's that?
My guess is it'll be late, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if that happens, I mean, a couple of things happen. Number one, it sort of reduces the ceiling for Jokic and Murray. Although we have seen Jokic obviously do stuff in 3 quarters. And also it would probably give upgrades to like Trey Murphy. Who else?
The problem is the Trey, as I'm going to point out about, I love playing Trey Murphy because he's never owned, but then in this situation when he's going to project great with these guys out, he's really, you're going to have to ride waves with him, and he's a little bit scoring reliant. So I actually think bizarrely Jordan Poole is more the cashier play than Murphy, but Murphy I like so much better as a player, and I think I don't know. Both those guys will look pretty good, and Sadiq Bey will look. I assume he would start.
Who's that?
Sadiq Bey, assuming that he starts, or Derek Queen, whichever one starts. But we probably aren't going to know. And by the way, it doesn't necessarily mean that much. Zion didn't play in the last game, and nobody got there.
Right. So, now, I mean, also for Denver, I mean, it's kind of hard to ignore. I mean, how awesome has Jamal Murray been? I mean.
This was my case coming into the year. This is the first time he's ever been healthy. I love Jamal Murray tonight.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first questions I got today in the Discord was, what do you think about playing Jamal Murray and Jokic together? And my answer is the same thing I'll say now. Is I don't think there's anything the slate is small enough to where it makes sense. I just don't think it's optimal to do it.
I agree with that.
If you ended up with some of it, I'm not going to cross it off, but I'm not going to build it in my 555s unless. Look, I'm still waiting for later news. There's things that could lead you there just because of the way the slate plays out. But that's the way I'm looking at it.
Now we mentioned it kind of quickly, but Asar Thompson was listed as questionable.
Still questionable.
So we obviously have to look to that news. If he's out, then I mean, I'm not sure who gets bumped, but someone's going to get bumped, right?
What's that?
If he's out, then who's going to – I mean, I guess everybody gets an upgrade. Right?
These are always tough questions to answer this early in the year because we've seen it and they didn't necessarily – he played only 15 minutes in the last game. I think it would be Holland would be the obvious answer. I guess that – and you're right. Everyone else would get a bump but I think Holland – along with all the starters. You could make a case for, I guess, Isaiah Stewart. Obviously not an ideal matchup against Orlando, but Orlando's not like the same, or like their defense has not been anywhere near what it was last year.
At current projections, I just ran kind of like a kind of a skeleton build, assuming nothing changes, which it will. I'm getting what you said. I'm getting like a good amount of. I mean, I'm getting 70% Russell Westbrook. This is on DraftKings, and then the next highest one I'm getting like is 67% Ray J. Dennis.
Yeah, same here.
And then the two other Indiana guys you said, like Jarris Walker and Pascal Siakam. And Pascal Siakam, obviously the easy play, and then the other two Indiana guys are showing up for me a little lower, but still like meaningful ownership is Ben Shepherd, and also kind of an awkward play like Tony Bradley. And then I'm also getting Anthony Davis. Like you said, I'm getting Jokic because I can, right, with this value. D'Angelo Russell, Cam Thomas.
How much Jay Huff are you getting?
I don't know if I'm getting any. 8% of him right now.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to depend on who starts, I guess, right? I mean,
yeah, and right now he's projected to start.
Okay.
But Bradley still projects better, and I think that's the better play. But so I think Huff has forward eligibility, and Bradley does not.
Okay.
So that's just something to consider. I just want to say about Jokic, a quick thing. Look, you guys know, and by the way, I still think the projections are fine with him. And even at 60, like at 11.5, it just feels like, okay, let's just do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
His usage is not quite the same. If you look at him, he looks like he's going to play himself into shape. He does not. He's showing very little aggressiveness, but that's okay. He likes to do that anyway. He likes to have other guys score, and he always gets there anyway. He gets the triple doubles if he doesn't have the, you know what I mean, the scoring going. But I don't know that maybe. Initially, like if it was Luka, I would have bumped it way up, closer to 70 with the way that things are currently constructed. With Jokic, I think it's pretty accurate across the industry that his median should be in that 61 to 64 range, somewhere in that range. That's where I'm at. I guess that's my take on him.
What did you think of relative to the other Indiana guys about Ben Shepherd?
Yeah, I mean, it's just he's going to play minutes, and he's really low point per minute guy.
Okay,
but that doesn't have to be the case with all these guys out. I mean, he scored 36 already in one game. Kind of dudded out a little bit the last couple times, but. Yeah, it's going to be. Does he hit a couple threes? Does he get into foul trouble? That could hurt him. Does Ray J. Dennis take all of his minutes? That's what that one is for me.
But he's one of the lesser active ones. He's like a low point per minute guy.
The thing is, all of their guys are right now
except for Siakam.
Except for Siakam.
Right.
Yeah, because there's no Matherin, there's no Nemhard, there's no what's his name? There's no McConnell. There's no.
I don't understand. It's like the first freaking week of the season. Why is the whole league injured?
Well, I mean, what's his name's out because he got hurt in Game 7.
No, Halliburton.
Yeah, it's happening a lot. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to the question. I think it's pretty cruel to do it to Rick Carlisle. And by the way, it's Rick Carlisle going back to Dallas, which, if anything, it just makes me think maybe the game will stay a little bit closer. That maybe he does care, because there is speculation out there. This is one of the best drafts, they're saying, like in NBA history this year. And there is speculation.
Big tank fest going on, you're saying?
Yeah, because and they're saying the same things about Boston, but I don't think Boston's trying to tank. I mean, I think they're going to try and especially win this game against one of the better teams in the East and all that stuff. But like, there could be a little bit of that going on. Okay, we're not going to play our guys because it doesn't really matter that much anyway. We know we don't have Halliburton. We know we don't have Tatum most likely for the year. Although I'm still skeptical on Tatum one. But yeah, this would be a great opportunity to sort of reload while you're having a down year. Look what the Spurs did. Their entire future of their franchise changed because David Robinson hurt himself. And they get Tim Duncan with the number 1 pick after having the best record in the NBA the year before without Tim Duncan. And then the number one, you see what happened to the Spurs history is all different based on just that one bad season. So I think there's a lot of guys trying to take advantage of that. And they're all. I would say it's the Cameron Boozer sweepstakes, but there's so many good guys. It's hard not.
What team is he on?
He's on Duke. Carlos Boozer's kid.
Oh, okay.
He went to Duke also.
Well, him I remember.
Yeah, people are joking that he's like the only person who can stop Wemby.
He's a big man.
He's not even that big. He's just a good young guy, because people are like, what are people going to do with Wemby over these next years? And that's it.
Well, I mean, the answer is it's like anything else, though. People, let's say, okay, he'll get his and just stop everybody else.
Yeah. Well, but he's not even getting his. You can't score on them. Like they're the best offense with him on the court. They're the best right now. I mean, it's only through 4 games, but it's the best defensive rating in history since they started measuring it. With him off the court, they have the worst defensive rating in the NBA. Oof. So this guy is going to win the MVP so easily this year. I think if he's healthy, I really don't think it's going to be anything close.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if he's the favorite though.
No, he went after opening night. He was 12-1. He went to 3-1. So he was tying basically with like Jokic, SGA. It was like basically him, Jokic, SGA.
I think him and SGA are the 2 favorites right now.
And Luka was until he got hurt. Right. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, that's the easiest money ever if he plays, because none of those guys are like even like Shea is the 7th best defender on his own team, maybe worse, and he's still a good defender. So they have a million good defenders, And if you're the best defensive player by such an astronomical amount. Even if he was like averaging 20 and 10, but he's going to average like 28 and 15 or 14 and be the best defensive player in the NBA and have one of the highest true shooting percentages. I mean, did you see him the other day with the outlet play?
Oh, no, I didn't see it. I'm afraid to look.
He went behind the back twice. He got the rebound, went behind the back because the guy tried to come and sneak. Then he went behind his back again the other way and just leaked it out perfectly to a guy for an open dunk. It was just like, guys shouldn't be able to do that. Like, not another big man in the league can do it, much less a guy who's 7'5".
I mean, how do his teams ever lose, like in the EuroLeague or wherever?
They don't.
I don't think his teams won the championships.
No. I mean, he was a baby then, and also they were bringing him along slowly. Okay. But I mean, France nearly beat the United States with him when he was 19.
Right.
They almost did with the 19-year-old as their best player. I guess Yabusele was pretty good in that one too. I just think when you change the game defensive, like I think people are just going to look at metrics and go like, okay, there's just no way we can't give it to him because if you're a defensive player and you're one of the best 5 offensive players, it's tough to lose.
Who ended up winning? Did they announce the MVPs yet for baseball?
No, it'll be Shohei, and it's going to be one of, I don't know. I think it's just, I think it's going to be Raleigh, but I think that I don't even know if I agree with it. I just want to.
No, I know we had this discussion. I was wondering if they announced it yet. Okay.
No, not yet. And then you have the 2 obvious Cy Youngs with the 2
Scooball and Skeens.
Yeah, and Yamamoto had an insane year. Any other year he could win it, but I don't think he can beat Skeens this year. XXX is asking how many Pacers tonight, 3 or 4. Both sound fine to me. I'm not going to say I wouldn't play probably, I don't know. On DraftKings, I think I'm probably going to end up with a minimum of 2. There might be some lineups where I don't have 2, but mostly it'll be a minimum of 2. Remember the Pacers, like they do play guys, you know what I mean? Like they like to go deep into the bench. So there is a chance you get sort of one of those ugly games and maybe this game goes way under and they get blown out and everybody sort of semi gets there, but it's like 5 or 6 X's. But that's really, I mean, that's like a downside. Like it's just going to be so hard for even that to happen.
Right.
It's possible, but it's just unlikely. And then the thoughts on, I like this question from Cos Campbell. Thoughts on Sharp for Portland. Looks good usage, hasn't hit shots. I agree with all of that. And I will always gamble on a guy like Shaedon Sharp. I love this matchup for him. He is, I love Avdia tonight, but 8,500 on DraftKings is tough. I love him on FanDuel. Shaedon Sharp, I think I can definitely get behind bumping that one up and just trying to get to a little bit more exposure. I think this is a matchup where you might see him put up like a 40 or a 50. I think that's very possible. Jaylen Brown is officially available. That's good to know.
That's good. What about Asar Thompson? Anything on him yet?
Nothing yet. Probably going to be about a half hour, unfortunately, until we find that out. I hate to say that. But
so they don't have like the same thing, like the hour and a half like requirement.
No. It's the NBA is like they can do it up to 5 minutes before. I've been saying for years, and again, I know you got your connection, but I don't think he's going to change this. I think it's unfair that they don't have their lineups before 30 minutes before. At least have your starting lineup out 30 minutes before left. What is so hard about this? You want, and people say, oh, but you can go out and warm up. Yeah, that's true. But they can go out and warm up before that and find out. Like, come on, guys, let's get an idea about this.
So I'm basically right now forcing the NBA and the teams right now they're going to be releasing somebody out in the next like probably 5 minutes because I just did my projections.
Oh, of course, yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, and I'm going to load those up in like a couple of minutes, and I'll actually share what I have. I mean, but just the NBA is just different than the other sports, man. It just is. I mean, like by the time you say something, it just doesn't even exist anymore.
It's so crazy.
We did for those of you who didn't hear, we did our NFL preview earlier today. Do you do anything between now and Sunday or no?
Sometimes I do it with McCool, but he hadn't been able to for obvious reasons a little bit lately. So I may or may not. At the end, by the way, the NFL, I was going to try and do last week's solo, and I realized I didn't know anything of what was going to be happening. Everything changed on Saturday morning when Lamar was ruled out. So if I did a show, it would have been completely pointless because I would have talked all about Lamar and just play the Bears game and just load up on it no matter what.
Right.
Play all of the Ravens against the Bears, and and it's for the NFL. Usually it feels like the last week really felt like week 17 to me. All right, here's a question from Scott McCarty, one of our guys. What's up, Scott? Do I need to worry about not having enough value? You don't have to worry ever about not having enough, like Jay Huff specifically. What you do have to worry about, you're playing like nobody from Indiana. If somehow you have a build that you got to nobody from Indiana, it just can't be.
Then you did something wrong.
Yeah, I don't think you want to like try to go and get Jay Huff exposure, but you're gonna get some. I can't imagine. Well, I can't imagine you won't. It really depends on who ends up starting, like you said, and he can get there whether he starts or not. But so could Tony Bradley. It's really hard to gauge. It's going to be a hot hand or a foul trouble kind of a thing between those guys. Oh, our guy MJ Vandy. Good to see you, bud. He's back. What's up, man?
What happened to the dude, the reporter guy, the TV?
Pingalore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what might have done it because my friend, an old friend of mine from Santa Barbara, oddly enough, was one of the news anchors on the thing. And I don't know if maybe they had a bad relationship because when I started talking about how they knew each other, he didn't seem like particularly like he had anything nice to say, which usually people would if they knew somebody,
Okay.
Through other parts of the world. And it just made me think maybe that had something to do with it. And then my friend ended up getting fired for defending somebody else who got fired on air. Like,
oh my God.
But he didn't do anything wrong. Like he just said, like, I think we should have done a better salute for her because she was great to our network. And they were like, nope, you're gone forever. It's basically what they told him. Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Jay Huff right now, I'm getting 14%, and I have 29% Tony Bradley. I don't really want to mess around with trying to guesstimate on that game. You're going to get exposure there. I'm going to trust the SaberSim part of it. I might bump down Ray J. Dennis just a little bit because I don't know that I need to have 75% of him. And I think that there is a very good chance it could be Jarris Walker instead of him, who has the big game tonight. You could obviously play both of them. Aaron Neesmith too. Like I would like to get him a little bit more. So yeah, those are the only ones.
Yeah, as far as like the projections I just did, I mean, it's like nothing different than we've talked about. Although, like you said, I mean, I'm getting a better projection on Tony Bradley than I thought I would. Remember I said a curious amount of Tony Bradley. I'm listening, starting center, I guess. I mean, you have to sort of respect it. Here's a weird one I'm getting.
Tony Bradley probably won't start for what it's worth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm guessing these projections are based on him not starting, but I'm not 100% sure. If he does start, you're going to see a monster projection.
Well, who'd start? Like Jay Huff would start at center, you mean?
No, Isaiah Jackson's their starting center. But Jay Huff would start at power forward. So, yeah, I guess the same thing. But so actually, you keep asking the same question, man. I just said I answered the Pacers question. I can't answer it again.
What was the question?
Well, first it was how many Pacers, 3 or 4, and then it said. Then I answered it, and I went on a long explanation of what I thought. A minimum of 2. Is
Well, I
probably
mean, for what you, I presume he means one entrant for for one lineup.
I don't. I mean, he comes in here a lot. I don't think so.
Oh, so he's asking whether we should do a minimum for all lineups.
Now he's saying, are we maxing the Pacers? Like meaning that you play 5 of them.
I mean, if you get to them, get to them. I mean, that's fine.
I'm not going to write it off either, but
I'm not going to get to them 5 that way. But
no.
If you did, you would.
If I did, I would like. If I was hand building, I would like to have a run back, and you have plenty of guys to run back. So if you have the problem then is you only get 8 spots. So if you run 5 guys from one, you can't run 2 guys from the other. Oh no, you can. You can run 2 guys from the other, but you can't. Then you have to have just one other. So you're just playing 7 guys from one game. I'm all for stacking, but it's just a little too much stacking for me on a slate that's got some stuff to really like. Yeah, right now my exposure is Westbrook, Dennis, Siakam, Walker, then Jokic, then Bradley, then Keontae George, then Cam Thomas, then Anthony Davis, then Buzelis. I'm going to bump Buzelis up. I would like to get to more of him than this. Then Jaylen Brown. I would like to bump Jaylen Brown up, and I did bump Jaylen Brown up, actually. That's why I got him. I have my list of guys who I thought were like a little, like again, 16 people long, but I'm just going to run through it real quick. Westbrook, but now he's being projected fine. It doesn't matter whether you change his project, you're going to get a bunch of them. Jokic, which I only bumped up 1 point. Wagner, Levine, Mobley, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Donovan Mitchell, Shaedon Sharpe. I have Mobley and Allen twice written down, so that's only 14 guys. Buzelis, Markkanen, Kessler, and Jamal Murray. Oh, and MPJ and Jaylen Brown. Sorry.
For what it's worth, someone who knows about basketball a little bit told me that mentioned that if you're going to play Trae Young, to be aware that the Nets do like to give a lot of pick and roll double teams and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe it's not going to be so easy for him.
I mean, these days, like Trae, you're kind of playing more, I think, for the assists anyway, like in a way. Okay. I mean, not really more, you know what I mean? But he can put up a number with, his assist totals this year are just trying to read them real quick because I know they were pretty 17, 10. Then he had a 6 and 5 games in the bad games, and then 10 again. So, normal tricks for him. He'll be one of the league leaders in assists. I think he might be the league leader this year because they've got Jalen Johnson and Porzingis there. Jalen Johnson back. Porzingis is there now. I like Jalen Johnson better than Trae for what it's worth. I just was talking about a guy who at low ownership or basically no ownership could break the slate. He certainly fits the mold. He and Cade Cunningham. Cunningham is probably the better play of the two. I think Cade Cunningham is just woefully. I don't think his projection should be as low as it is. He's played poorly. It's not going to stay. It's not going to keep up. I just don't think this is who he is. He's missing every. I mean, look at his shooting numbers. His best. He had one game where he shot 40% from the field. Every other game is 31% or below. Right? Am I reading that right? It might be every game. Jesus. Yeah, he's just shooting terribly. I don't think you can shoot this badly for. I'm just not going to bet. No, he had 2 games at 40. Okay. But then 20, he shot 20% in the last game. 3 for 14. Raptors, that doesn't mean anything to us. That's before the slate. All right. And we still don't have a Blue Jays lineup, but I understand.
We still don't have an Asar Thompson clarification, I don't think.
And we don't have Asar, and we don't have Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, well, I wonder what that was all about, the Donovan Mitchell business.
Yeah, and that's an interesting one because what do we do then, right? Okay, so we don't have Mitchell, and then obviously everybody's going to go to Mobley, which already is a reasonable play. But if everybody goes to Mobley, you still you have no Garland right now. I really wonder what they do at the guard position. I don't know. I honestly don't know what it's going to be. Jalen Tyson will look like a really good play. But
who's that?
Craig Porter Jr. will probably start at 3.4K. And
that's the end of that.
He'll probably look like the Nuts. Whether he is the Nuts or not. Well, no. They'll start Lonzo. Never mind. They'll start Lonzo. But Lonzo.
That could be the Nuts.
Well, he might be, but he's only going to play 24 minutes probably. He hasn't played more than 24 in, I think, 2 years, maybe 3 years. So I'm guessing they're going to bring him along a little bit slowly. Love this Indiana team overall, by the way. I think this is like, I'm sorry, love this Cleveland team. I think this is a really, like, I know everybody's got them in the finals, and I am the same as everybody as of this moment. Still looking for my sneaky team in the East, and I haven't found it yet.
Oh, for the East?
Yeah, for the East. The West
is the favorites. I guess Milwaukee, Knicks, and Cleveland, right?
Never Milwaukee. The Knicks and Cleveland by pretty much a landslide. I think I guess the sneaky one is Philadelphia, because they can affect it. Like, they have an incredible guard rotation now, and then they can bring in Embiid and Paul George potentially to play with that. But they're more like the theoretical team. I don't know if that's actually going to.
I would think Orlando.
Orlando was the logical team. They've looked horrible. They've been terrible so far, and they have one guy who could make shots, and he hasn't made shots. So, like, they don't have any. It's really hard to win in the modern NBA without having a shooter. But I think I agree. I think that by the end of the year, Orlando will probably be the 3 seed. They'll put it together, or Philadelphia. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Philadelphia. But look, these teams may not even be in playoff contention in the West. That's how crazy the difference is between the two leagues. The East and West is nuts. Brandon's going to join the live sweat at some point tonight. He said he'll come say hello. So, okay.
Nice.
All right, man. As usual, I've drinking my 7,000 things of water, and I've got to take a leak at some point. Is there anything else you want to go over? Or are you just going to do the projections and upload them? And I just
uploaded them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Now, what does this mean? What does high open rates mean? With regard to an email. Oh, okay, that's Tyler just sent something. Oh, high open rates. How often an email gets opened? Okay.
Oh, right. Cool. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna say good luck, and good luck to my Dodgers. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm nervous here. Close to a
worst case. You'll do it the hard way.
Okay. All right.
You'll be good.
At least you didn't say it's a lock, man. That's the curse of the curses.
No, the lock was yesterday.
No, I meant when you say, like, every time you write, there's no way you can lose to me.
No, the lock was yesterday. It was Toronto. I mean, coming off that heartbreaker the night before.
Yeah, and just like a dud of a game, the Dodgers barely put the ball in 40 feet total.
But you know what actually is probably a pretty good play today is I kind of like your idea of just like the Dodgers team total, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, just play them, whatever, because Yashevich, whatever, he's good, whatever. But I don't know. Have they seen him before or no?
Yeah, they saw him in game 1, and they worked the counts. They did the things to get to the right position. They just didn't get any of the big hits.
Yeah, I think you give them a second look at him. I think they can get him.
But also, these are like the two. Like, I don't know if they are the 2 hottest games in World Series history, but certainly in recent World Series history, they're both 90 degrees at start time. The ball's gonna fly. So
okay, just for funsies, let me look real quick and see what kind of bets there are in the MLB for this game. All right, so batter props, pitcher props. I don't want that. I just want the game. Shohei Ohtani home runs. I'm not interested in that. First inning. Oh, the YERF and the NERF. That's Matt always bets this stuff, like whether there's a run in the first inning.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, this is a night where I'm in on the first inning run.
Over is -110.
It's -110.
Well, or -120, whatever. It's the same. It's a pickup.
Yeah, usually I thought the no run was always a little bit more likely, but the Nerfy or the Yerfy.
Yeah, yes, earned run first inning.
Yeah,
or no
earned run. Be earned.
No, but that's the rule. I think these are all.
No, I've never seen it with the run, an earned run.
Oh, maybe that's just YRF is pronounced Yerf.
Yeah, people say Yerfy and Nerfy. Yeah,
Yerfy. Okay.
There's a famous woman's she does a lot of the bets for the Nerfies and the Yerfies or whatever, but she has an Taylor Mathis is her name, and she does these walking bets. She hasn't been doing them lately because she had a kid, but I would encourage anybody who hasn't, and most of you guys or a lot of you guys may know who she is, but check it out and you'll see why she's entertaining to watch too. That wasn't a creepy thing. I know it sounded creepy, but it was just, it's funny. She's
I
got
mean,
a funny accent.
the fact that you're like mentioning it as if I'm not supposed to know. I mean, like I'm well aware of the Taylor Mathis walking bets.
I know you are, but I don't know if
everybody else is.
I don't know if everybody is.
I made actually fun of it, like a bunch of videos where I was walking to work. I'm like, all right, this is going to be the Sheets walking bets as I was walking through whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Well, good luck tonight. And everybody, good luck out there. I will update my exposures as soon as I have some idea who's actually playing in these first games.
Yeah. All right. I'll talk.